Greetings, Internet. This is Tyler.
And I'm Dave.
And we'd like to welcome you to our first recording of TADPOG, which short for Tyler and Dave Play Old Games, a podcast where we talk about old, and I'll say old with quotation marks, games. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Street Fighter X Mega Man.
Yeah, well, we plan to go through IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games and talk about them on this show. Occasionally, we'll stray from that, like our very first episode, this one.
In the beginning, we're going to stray from our...
We're setting such a fantastic standard. But we couldn't pass this up because this game plays like a classic game. It fits in completely with everything that I like to play, sure.
Yeah, so the game... Well, I should say that before... It's already a labor of love for me coming into this, because I think if anybody that normally plays games, they can know how horrible a thumb wound can be whenever you're starting a game. Because I am renovating a house right now, and while painting, of all things, I gouged a huge chunk out of the middle of my thumb. So I had to mash that into the jump button for Mega Man, but I endured so that we can bring Tadpog to life today.
We definitely appreciate your sacrifice, sir.
All right, so Street Fighter X Mega Man. Were you pleased with it, Dave?
It. I liked it. I didn't like it at first. But let's get something straight from the beginning. Is it Street Fighter X Mega Man or Street Fighter Cross Mega Man? And what is that? That's a trend now, right?
Yeah, I guess ever since X-Men versus Street Fighter back in the day, I guess then increasingly now I see it's a way to make money. Although this really isn't making money, but I guess I see it both ways. I read X, but I think Cross does sound cooler, which some people will definitely appreciate.
Yeah, and I don't understand. I know because Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out. And that's just pretty much a straight up fighting game like Marvel vs. Capcom or something like that. So, yeah, I liked it, man. I really it had some polish to it that I didn't expect with it being a free game and, knowing that it was developed by one guy I'd never heard of in Singapore.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little bad. But I was really surprised, like I said, with the amount of polish that was on it.
I probably didn't enjoy it as much, but it's hard for me to complain that much because it is a free game by, one guy who's clearly a big fan and went out of his way. So I can't bitch too much,
right.
But
ask for your money back.
Right, exactly. I mean, it was better than I expected, but overall I guess I wasn't a big fan because it's hard to compare it to a real official Mega Man. Sure, Capcom got behind it, yeah. But it's not a Mega Man, and I'm having to try and be objective, realizing this is not a Mega Man, but just a fan trying to emulate something that he enjoys. So yeah. Take a step back, everything with a grain of salt, but overall, let's see, I suppose right off the bat, the levels were very, very short.
Yeah.
I understand, a single developer, that's got to be a huge undertaking. Mm-hmm. So I understand why they wouldn't be very long, but it just seems a few panels over, a few jumps, and I was at the boss, which it's a Street Fighter. There are the bosses.
Right.
So yeah. That's what you characters. Want to be at. At the same time, that was something that kind of threw me off a little bit.
But that's almost a compliment to say that you wish there was more of the game.
You know what I mean? That's true. Another thing that I noticed off the bat that kind of tainted my initial enjoyment, which is charging up your Mega Buster, because I know some early Mega Man games that isn't something you can do. It's introduced later. Yeah. So immediately when I'm playing, I'm like, oh, I wonder if we can charge this up. There's a delay in it. So I stop for a second, I hold it down, nothing happens. Oh, well, I assume you just can't. And without charging your Mega Buster, the game is very different. Yeah. It's just a struggle in pressing the game as fast as you can. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. Because I tried it, and you're right. There's this 2 seconds that it takes the damn thing to charge up. And I just assumed, when I held the button down and it didn't work, I just figured, okay, well, it's not in this game.
Yep.
then I played through the whole thing without
So
it.
people who play that, listen to this first and then play it, just know, yeah, you can change it. It will alter your experience of the game. Because I started out, initially I chose Rose's level. Rose, I knew who Rose was going into it.
Yeah.
I did not know who all the bosses were.
I didn't either.
So I considered myself, well, I know enough Street Fighter to get by. I played the hell out of Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and not as much entries thereafter, but I have a good working knowledge. I knew who Rose was. Chose her level first, and without knowing you could charge the Mega Buster, it was just me pressing the fire button
rapidly
as I could.
Yeah.
It just, the whole level felt like a mini game.
You were drinking cans of Chrono Trigger?
Exactly. It's like the beer drinking contest in Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and it's kind of interesting you bring up that you didn't know all the characters. I didn't either. And I feel like in a game that was done in this style, obviously retro, I wish they would have chosen more of the characters from that
classic character.
Yes, exactly. Yes. That era of Street Fighter. I mean, it didn't take any enjoyment out of the game. I don't want to critique something that could have existed but didn't. But I just think it would have been really cool to pit Mega Man up against E Honda.
Yes, I think that's the most iconic character that I would have missed.
He's on the game art, right?
Right, exactly. You're right. He is the first thing you see when you look at Street Fighter. Why wouldn't he be on it?
You feel like it's weird that Ryu isn't on the game art.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew. I don't know for sure, but I guess they didn't know just the direction of the game, how it was going to take. And that he was going to be the poster child of Street Fighter.
Rose's level is the only level that I got to see Rush in, which was nice.
Yeah.
I appreciated seeing Rush. But yeah, Rose, more difficult of a boss than I thought, but Rose's level was different in that the first quarter of it is you flying around on Rush.
Yeah.
Pressing the fire button as fast as you can.
Yeah, that's true.
But going from Rose, though, I know this is something that you were surprised with. Okay, Blanca. When you think of Blanca, you think of the big green monster that everyone could press, the Y button on Nintendo very quickly, and he'd electrify. I felt that's his iconic move.
Yes.
But it's not his iconic weapon.
No, it's kicking watermelons at people.
A watermelon. I mean, maybe that's in some Street Fighter I'm unfamiliar with, where they introduce his affinity for watermelons.
His watermelon meter.
Right.
He's taking enough damage, and he's got full watermelons, bro. Just let him go.
Because I mean, watermelons. I think of Yoshi's Island before anything else. But kicking your watermelon. All right. That was the developer's choice.
That's the first TADPOG t-shirt. Kicking your watermelons. Just a green shirt, white text.
And then going further with weapons that didn't make sense to me, another was C. Viper's weapon, is that I didn't notice her weapon was even in her moveset at all. It was a minor enemy in the level. You kill her and you get a regular enemy's weapon. You don't get C. Viper's weapon.
Right.
Which, strange to me, because C. Viper is actually one of the newer characters that I really enjoy. Mm-hmm. So not being able to have her, the Thunder Fist or the Thunder Kick, a little strange. But Chun-Li's weapon I did enjoy. You don't often see melee in a Mega Man.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it has a lot of uses. It's scary when you use it sometimes, especially in boss battles.
And then I guess it probably stands to say that the Hadouken has already been in Mega Man, since it was the secret one-hit kill everything in Mega Man X.
Right. Honestly, I didn't think the Hadouken was really that good.
No.
I mean, I was really surprised. I saved Ryu for last because I figured, I was like, his level has just got to be the biggest, the baddest, the hardest, because they don't want you to get Hadouken until way late in the game.
I assumed the exact same thing. So Ryu's definitely gonna be the hardest. He should be last.
I knew who I was gonna fight last before I had decided who I was gonna fight first. which was also Rose. And I think it's interesting that completely independently we both chose Rose as first. I just assumed that it was going to be the easiest.
It's not chauvinist us showing. Oh well,
Right. I mean,
we'll buy the woman first.
It's a girl.
We're assholes like that. But I will say the Ryu fight was, or Ryu. I've heard it said. Everyone says it differently depending on where you're from. But I thought his boss battle, he was my favorite fight.
Yeah.
But only when I had his weakness. I thought his weakness made the fight appealing.
Yeah. It's a completely different take. I agree. And it only makes sense that you defeat him the way that you do.
Dalzim, or Dazlim, again.
Dalsim. I'm a Dalsim guy.
I enjoyed his boss battle.
Yeah.
He was the one. Rose is the one I tried first, but not the one I ended up beating first. Dalzim was the first one that I beat. They did him very well.
Yeah.
I had no qualms with how he was done. His level felt very sparse. I feel like the majority of the levels, I imagine a solo programmer again trying to take it with a grain of salt, but what few enemies had a very wide move set, so that one enemy could get you wherever on the screen you were, and that seemed to be in his level, and then spread out through most of the game.
Yeah.
Few enemies, wide range.
Blanca was the first boss that I beat, so I was kicking watermelons like really, really early. I was using those watermelons any chance I could. I'd run across a weird looking enemy, I'd be like, I wonder if they're weak against watermelons. I guess I just kick one at him. So, are there other areas in the game that you felt were too sparse?
Well, I mean, I appreciate that they kept the sliding doors in the area between the doors.
Yeah.
Rose's level, again, going back to that, I didn't feel that was sparse. Dalzim's level I felt was sparse. Blanca's level was okay. Sea Viper's level, fine. Ryu, except for the teleporting samurai in his level, felt a little sparse. But I think the only thing that detracted me before I even started the game was I'm glad they released it on PC. That's the best way to distribute a free game.
Yeah.
But you can't really play a Mega Man on a keyboard.
Yeah, oh no.
There's no way I could have played that on a keyboard. I hooked up my PS3 controller using Motion Joy to play it.
Yeah, I did the same.
And it was that made the experience much better once I had a controller in my hand.
I agree.
Although it's just me being nitpicky, first world problems that I had to use there's not a good controller set in the game because it's not programmed for that. So the buttons automatically defaulted to being the ones furthest away from the joystick, which I'm used to having a tight play Y in the Super Nintendo. The Y button, Y and B are where you're focused at, as opposed to going up a set, and I had to get used to that, and that immediately turned me off. But that's just me nitpicking.
Yeah, I had that moment where I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to. Well, every time I play this game, I have to tell my brain, all right, thumbs go here instead. But I feel like that could have been easily fixed with some kind of in-game controller support.
And that would have been, I mean, maybe that's something though. If it's popular, they might fix that.
Yeah, that's a good question. If this really took off, would Capcom or this developer run with it?
Because obviously they've got some interest in it since they decided to back the programmer and get some money his direction, get some advertising his direction. They do care a little bit, although Capcom's been a company that I think most fans of Capcom are now a little distraught with their behavior as of late with all their brands.
Yeah, they have been feeling a little EAE. You know what I mean?
No, that's definitely not. When they blame their fans for Mega Man, saying they didn't want Mega Man Legends 3 enough after a huge campaign, and then them letting go of the guy who made Mega Man, the creator of Mega Man, letting him go.
It makes it feel a little hollow.
Yes.
But I mean, I hate to say it is what it is, but at the end of the day, man, can I fit one more cliche in there? That would be really great if I could say one more trite thing on the mic. I know you guys listening just love real stale shit like that. So let me bring it to you.
We talked about kicking watermelons. It's all right.
It's fine. We covered that. When it's all said and done, there's the third. It's still. I feel like it's still a good game, even if it's missing the mark here and there. I enjoyed it.
to something I did enjoy about the game, I really enjoyed the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm just a sucker for 8-bit music.
It was
anyway.
beautiful hearing some of those themes. Having never heard them in 8-bit, it's just Vegas. Like, really, I just, like, that was a frustrating level for me, climbing the fence. I can't tell you how many times I had to do
hit,
that.
fall down, hit, fall down.
But at least the music was just beautiful to kind of take some of the edge off of that frustration.
Yeah. Before Vega, I was confused for a while on Balrog's level because I didn't understand. I come down and I turn around to fight him, and he punches you, and you automatically die.
Yeah, you're dead.
And then, okay, you're supposed to run from Balrog chasing you. When do I hit him? Turning around?
Stop and shoot, take a pot shot, and then start running.
Yeah, I throw on my grenade weapon and turn around, just trying to lob grenades at him. It's not hurting him. I'm still running from him.
That reminds me, when he dies, this made me think, I really like playing Balrog in Street Fighter. Like, he's one of my go-tos. And it made me so sad that when he dies, you don't hear some like 8-bit version of my fight money.
That would have been good.
And then I thought it would be cool if when you die, you get taunted by the boss of that level, like Street Fighter 2 Turbo style.
You are 100% right. That would have been very, very good to see a beaten up Mega Man and then the boss that beat you and the taunt text in between.
Did you know there's perfects in the game?
I did see that. When I went in to fight Blanca with 1 bar to my health whenever I crossed that door.
You went in with 1?
I went in because I was just like, well, I guess I'll
One man walks in
back.
with 1 hit point and walks out.
Didn't have his weakness. Like, fine, I'll just.
That's when
I saw
legendary.
the perfect. And then,
I didn't get a perfect in the game. I found out actually when I was looking up the game to see. All right, okay. I always play the game straight. You know this. I play the game without looking shit up. And then once I'm done with it, I start looking stuff up to see what I missed. And I did the same.
Yeah,
I did that.
Dave plays it real.
I did that with this game as well. So when I got done, I was like, all right, what did I miss? Well, Akuma's in the game. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
And that's how I learned about perfects. Because like, how do you get to Akuma? And I was like, oh, it's a certain number of perfects. I think it's like 4 or something like that.
4 on the last 8 bosses that you have to fight, which I've never. Yeah, that's not gonna happen for me. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'll just watch videos of Akuma because I'm not gonna get to fight him.
But I think, little secrets like that kind of plays in with the retro feel too. Because
That's true.
You see that in games now, but it doesn't have that magical quality of like those old secrets where it's like it's either it's a secret or you don't know it's a secret.
Right.
Like I think games are like they're just so in depth now that you don't notice stuff like that. Like you could stumble upon a secret in Skyrim and not even realize that, oh, this is something that not all players see. You know what I mean?
Yes. I get the warp whistle. You don't get the warp whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that's an old school charm that it did have to it. I'm glad they had that. I wish Sagat would have been in the game.
Yeah.
I expected him to be, I'm not sure why, if they were going for regular 8 and then the last 4 bosses.
Yeah.
Why he wasn't included, I'm not sure. But
yeah. No, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about it. That doesn't make sense. You'd mentioned that you really like the music, which I did too, but I think the sprites were really, really cool.
The Street Fighter
like seeing them
animation in Mega Man style, yes,
seeing them in that form, like especially I think Blanca is just amazing.
Blanca is done very well.
Another thing that I really liked was when you beat the boss, like you beat Chun-Li, and then they would show you a demo of the power that you just acquired on Dan.
And you see it on Dan. I forgot about that. That was good.
It's just little moments like that just really just add charm.
Yeah, the developer was clearly a fan,
Yes.
Definitely. He was probably a fan in a slightly different way than we are, but
You mean productive?
Well, he enjoyed different moments than we did. But yes, productive.
I can't imagine. I really can't imagine doing that. Making a game like that, just sitting down and doing it all.
Yeah, I have endless respect for programmers that can do it and enjoy doing it, because I tried it. I went to school to try and be a programmer, and
Not fun.
No,
Not for you.
nope. I like creating story. I love video games,
Yeah.
but I guess I have more. My mind just does not work like that. I got past my Hello World
Yes.
introduction to programming, and from there it just kind of fell apart. So
I can't say that I blame you.
that's why I'm a chef and nutritionist and not a programmer. But overall, great soundtrack, which you can get for free if you're like me. So it's like, what would you like to donate to get the soundtrack? I'm a jerk. I don't have a lot of money, so zero.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your effort.
I did the same. That does make you feel like a complete jackass.
But I paid over the average on the Humble Indie bundle, so I'm not.
To get the free,
I
get the
spread it
additional
out.
games.
Well, I still paid over. I could have paid $1. But the soundtrack is great. Mm-hmm. You can't complain about a free game, especially it's a good quality free game. It's great for nostalgia for either Street Fighter or for Mega Man. I've got endless respect for the guy that did it. But if you're like me and you just have a huge backlog of game on Steam and you try to ration your time a little bit, maybe if you're with some friends who like Mega Man, but if you value your gaming time and you have priorities with your gaming, I think this is probably one you can move on from.
Well, you pass over.
Yeah, I pass on it. Outside of the Street Fighter Mega Man,
Right.
It's I don't think it's a quality core game.
I think if this were a game I had to pay for, I probably wouldn't. But that being said, I totally recommend the game, and I think the game is great. My point is, just if I had seen it for sale, like on Xbox Live or PSN, I would have been like, oh, that's a really cool idea. That's a great concept. I wonder how that game is. But I'm not going to be the guy that buys it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought it sounded great. I thought it looked great. I wish, like you said, I wish there was more of it. And filled out a little more, but I definitely recommend it, especially for the price.
So then I guess there you have that. Since I'm Tyler, I'm the one with the beard. So I guess I'd give this game three beards.
Three beards.
3 beards.
You give it three beards.
You can take that however you'd like to.
I'm Dave with the glasses. How many glasses would you give it?
6.5.
3 beards and 6.5 glasses.
3 beards, 6.5 glasses. That's as accurate as I think we're gonna get.
Yeah, I think Metacritic would really appreciate your ranking system.
But I hope we enjoyed playing the game, talking about it, getting all this stuff together. So I hope you enjoyed listening to us rant and rave and bullshit about the game.
Yeah, really. And if you did, please come back and listen to us again, because we really need our egos stroked. And you can do that. You can find us on iTunes. Just type in TADPOG and you're good to go. Subscribe, please.
And then you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/TADPOG. Any feedback you have about our show, if you want to tell us what we did well, what we suck at, how we can do better, great. We'll take it all. If you have game suggestions, if you have something that really fits in with our theme, if it barely fits in with our theme, if you want our opinion on a game,
just reach out to us.
Yeah.
You want us to give you a review on what potato chip's the best? That's fine.
Yeah, we may do that. We may have a special show where we review potato chips.
Yeah, just for you.
So yeah, just let us know. We're always. I go to school, so I'm sitting on my laptop anyway. I'd love to talk to people. So
and I don't sleep, so that works out perfectly. Also want to. Besides you're great, but we want to thank other people too, okay? Definitely want to thank Sycamore Drive for the intro song that we used called Moves. Link to that can be found in the show notes. That's the end.